All right, I'm out here setting up lines for the evening. Really should be milking. Got a late start. Just thinking about the compaction, how to fix it. Once again, walking. This block that I'm giving them for tomorrow morning is much drier than the block that I'm giving them this evening, which is much drier than the block they had today. That's a benefit of, where are my stakes? That's a benefit of dry, sunny weather, although we did a little bit of rain today, but in the morning for a few minutes. We're higher up the slope, so this is better grain. And another day of grass growth. So the grass is also absorbing that moisture out of the ground and putting it into the leaves. Now, again, we have a mixed sward of heights. Some stuff that they left the last time is taller and starting to flower. Other stuff was gone. I noticed today they left a couple big patches of the stemmier stuff. That's not great. Normal year, I would top that behind the cows, probably do the whole field. Well, yeah, I would do this, like if I was going to top this field, and that's basically just cutting any stemmy stuff down, any weeds, reset the pasture growth, all to the same level playing field. So I would do this section that the cows have just grazed last few days. I'd like do that tomorrow, and then in 3 days I do the next. I do in thirds. 3 days I do the next section, and the final day, I finish up. That allows the blocks to grow ahead and not have, because you want to have good regrowth, and that's the whole point of topping, is to get rid of the stemmy stuff. Because once the stuff they've left behind, it starts getting woody, more fibrous. They won't eat that. It's worse. It tells the plants to kick it into survival mode or dormancy. So we need to slice that off and restart it. Otherwise, there's that much less of the pasture for the cows to use. And so as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, this is a lot like 5D chess. I mean, really. So I try and get 5 grazings out of a field. And you have to think of the field in 3 dimensions anyway. Length and width, obviously. The square footage determines how much grass you can grow, how many cows you can have on it. And then and also the height, the y-axis, z-axis, whatever. The height axis is how much forage is on that area, how high it grows. But also, we have to think, here's the 5D chess, we have to think of this in a stack of 5 fields. I want to try and get 5 grazings out of this field, at least in a summer. That's sort of my goal in each field. So how you 5D chess, right? So how you play the first game at the lowest level determines the games at all the upper levels, because like I've screwed up. I lost a rook, right? I got muddy hoof tracks all over the field. It's much too wet. So then now I am down a vital piece of the game. So, and then, that plays out each time I graze the cows through here. And then the cows are my opponents, right? How are they grazing? Why aren't they eating that stuff? Why will I now have to top if it ever dries out? So that, and also the other aspect is, not only do the areas the cows reject because it's too stemmy, which I now have to try and top or mitigate, when if I don't, I lose that much more pasture, but also everywhere they shit out in the field becomes a 4-foot circle around it. Each manure paddy is a zone of exclusion where cows won't graze. So each time they come across the field, each time they crap, is that much less pasture for the next couple rotations, because they'll exclude that. Now, come the end of the season or next spring, the grass growth in those areas will be phenomenal. But for now, I put too many posts up there because I'm yabbering. But for now, that's every time is less. And how the cows choose to play, those manure ponds dramatically affects the outcome of the game that is the grazing season. Because they may choose, maybe I haven't particularly seen a ton out here, so maybe they're crapping in the lane. Not ideal because that's in the lane and not on the land, or maybe we've had so much rain this year that the majority of them have dissipated and washed in, because there certainly aren't a ton here in the lane. So that's that stack of 5 fields playing a game of 5D chess, trying to grow the grass, graze the cows, make it all happen on the same field 5 times under vastly different conditions each time, because also right now we're still fortunate to be in the period of lush spring growth, but then come July, August, and beginning of September, cool season grasses drop off. They don't grow, they stagnate. And so instead of 15 or 20 days regrowth, we have 30, 35, 45 days of regrowth time to take. And that's where I stall out. That's where the forest silver pastures help out, because it's cooler down there. The pastures down there don't stall out as rapidly or for as long. And then in September, as it cools down, the grass does a little bit of regrowth, not nearly at the vigor or volume that you get in April, May, June. And so we're fighting that as well. We're fighting diminished feed constantly. And having enough space, having enough management of that space is crucial. And then also the grass in September, October, it basically, as soon as the frost hits, its grass stops growing. May eke out a little bit in our climate anyway, into November if we've got some mild sunny days. But you can't really count on grass cut close or grazed close in October to have any kind of proper regrowth into November. And you really need to have that stand of grass on the ground growing in November at about minimum 6 inches so that spring kicks off. It's a game of chess, 5D chess with multiple opponents. Cow chess.